If I asked you to think of something beautiful, where's the first place your mind goes? Your significant other? Your favorite song? A piece of pizza?
I'm
Big
not gonna
old
lie,
anime
bro.
titties.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm probably thinking of like, the Ben and Jerry's milk and cookies. Like this one. I'm probably thinking of that.
It's gonna be different for everyone, but for me, when I think of beauty, the first thing that pops into my little reptile brain is people coming together to call YouTube out on some dumb shit they've done. And good
Little
golly, I'll
reptile
tell
brain.
you, it's been a beautiful 24 hours.
Where's my
I bet
QAnon
YouTube
folks
didn't
at?
see this coming. The meteorologist in the weather report said nothing about a 100% chance of diarrhea showers falling upon them. Over the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of
Penguin is
YouTubers
really a
coming together
funny
to talk
guy.
about
He's
a
so
problem that was
funny.
brought to light this week by Corey Kinchin. And just over the last 24 hours, it's been great to see
Hey,
people
shout out that cat, dog.
calling YouTube out on some of their shit.
And that light.
Even
dog.
Io's really
You see the light change to spotlight the cat chewing on the cord? That's fly shit right there, Penguins. He was like, look at my cat. That's fly shit.
excited about it. She's all about, YouTube being held accountable. As you can see, she was so fired up. She's coming over here to slap the shit out of the headphone cord.
That's facts. That's
Yeah,
facts.
it's just been a big,
I ain't
a
never
big
seen
day,
a cat like that.
honestly. A big week, really, overall. Corey posted this video highlighting a major issue with YouTube at the moment and
I'm about to
something
check
that
that
he's
out,
been
too.
facing.
I
And in
don't know what
response,
it
a
is,
lot
but
of
I'm gonna check it out.
YouTubers started making videos showing support and as well as doing things to try and, get some kind of response from YouTube, get some kind of answer. So far, still radio silence, but I just still think it's nice to see so much support for another creator on
That's
the
radio
platform.
silence.
Now,
Just in case you
Markiplier did
didn't
something
know.
pretty unique and is starting somewhat of a trend with something called the Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge. Isn't that right, Io? So Markiplier posted this video where it's lightly poking fun at the policy that was being called out, where Markiplier's give
See, I don't even have access to the policy. Like, I tried to look for it, and I cannot find that policy. So,
How do y'all even get the policy?
Giving completely nude massages to women, and well, it's a game. It's a game called Orc Massage. Mark himself wasn't giving the massages and happy endings or anything. At least
I don't think so. I don't know if he does that in his off time or whatever, but the video is of a game where it is fully nude anime girls and you play as an orc and you start fucking playing their asses like bongos and there's nudity and shit. So Markiplier posted a video of that game.
Sounds
and
crazy.
Called it the Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge, obviously calling out this whole thing. And
so I watched the Markiplier video, and Markiplier never made mention of any policy specifically that he had any kind of qualm with. He didn't go in any detail as to what his qualm was, if he had a qualm, or anything of that sort. He never really said anything about a policy.
wow. Unlucky, my power just went out. I guess those orc massages are so powerful they created the next biblical monsoon over my house here. But anyway, in response to Markiplier
Biblical
posting this video,
monsoon heard.
YouTube got very petty. And
You're a
that was
reptile
remove
after
him
all.
from their Game On segment, which
See the
Markiplier
spotlight?
and his team had prepared a special...
I know you saw the difference in light this time. Look at this right here. No cat, no light. Cat, light.
Game On segment, which Markiplier and his team had prepared a special thing for, and without warning, they just removed his whole section. And Markiplier went on Twitter talking about how upset he
He got
was.
fired.
Io was distraught. You think she was mad slapping my cable? You should have seen her when Markiplier's section got cut.
Man, I don't
All
even
hell
want to
was
see her.
breaking loose.
I bet she had
It was
them
like a
claws
fucking-
out.
Like a plague
I
had just
bet.
been unleashed.
Like
You know,
COVID.
I didn't know much about
19.
cats until we got Io. I didn't realize they responded so heavily to injustice. They can
They
smell
do.
it from miles away.
I'm
I'll
telling
just
you.
quickly give a lore breakdown.
If I didn't have these headphones on, Katara could hear this over the speaker, and she heard the word injustice. I swear to God, she'd be clawing something. Something would be getting killed. She'd be and something.
Behind Game On. Game On was a big YouTube production. It was supposed to be a fun little event, a couple hours, a pretty big event in collaboration with a ton of other YouTube creators, and obviously Markiplier contributed to it.
Heard.
And YouTube allegedly didn't like Markiplier's most recent upload,
Yeah.
so they took him over their knee and spanked his bottom. Gave him a firm pat on the keister, to discipline him for misbehaving and removed all of the hard work he and his team put into it.
It's kind of like
it was a pretty embarrassing look from YouTube to
their
just
employee.
inexplicably remove Markiplier from this segment.
Like he got
because
fired.
He didn't even know it was coming. Right when the Game On section aired on YouTube, Markiplier made a tweet saying, "You're not ready for this." And fuck, was he right? No one was ready for that. They completely censored it. In fact, they still had a...
I wouldn't call it censoring. Like, it's like he got fired.
in the description with a timestamp of where his section was supposed to be, but when you went to it, it was something completely different. They just removed him. Markiplier posted a video today with the cut content, but obviously since it wasn't part of the entire performance, you don't actually get the full effect because he came up with an interactive game with his team that can't really be played the same way since it's now not part of the event. Overall, just a really douchey thing for YouTube to do here.
Lame.
I mean, this does prove to a lot of people there are human beings there because no robot could be this petty. Like, that's a...
It's time for my soapbox. Here's my soapbox. Markiplier, while he's an independent contractor, gets paid millions of dollars by YouTube. I do believe that's probably his main source of income. That means he's the employee and YouTube's the employer.
Right.
I don't think YouTube, as a video sharing platform, gives a damn about anime titties. I don't think they do. I do think, however, that YouTube gives a very large damn about its client relationship with advertisers that afford Markiplier his lifestyle. And as a freelance artist, right, you are essentially as valuable as word of mouth says your work is. So Markiplier is a very, very well-paid content creator because he's typically very family friendly. So he can sell his art to a lot of advertisers who advertise to children. And you know who does give a damn about anime titties? People's moms. So if people's moms are pissed off because Markiplier did something petty, he can't call these people and be like, "Hey, I got a problem with this age restriction thing that's been happening lately. What's up with that?" But instead you do something petty and you don't expect something petty in return. If the CEO of a very large, very rich company were to make a public protest like this, protesting a policy change of the company that they represent, they would be terminated for conflict of interest. Markiplier can't do that. You can't throw a temper tantrum when your boss demotes you after you do something that is stupid. Right? That's my soapbox.
Response I'd expect to see from a power-tripping Reddit mod who got their feelings hurt that someone called them out in something on the comments, and then they send like a passive-aggressive DM to them.
Nah, bro, this is
Not
real life.
behavior I would
Not
expect
just the
from a
internet.
multi-billion-dollar company that has a stranglehold on video sharing. You know, this is just not professional. They didn't give an explanation to Mark. They didn't give an explanation to anyone. They didn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
They just
Google's
removed
really
it.
bad about
And
explanations.
they probably never will explain it.
Google
And
does
that's something I
not
want to briefly
like
touch on.
communicate.
All of this effort to try and get...
I agree with Penguins on the fact that Google is horrible communication. They really do owe it to an employee or anybody that uses their software to say, "Hey, you violated this specific term," but instead they just be like, "Nah, right? We don't want you to run ads. We don't want you on our platform."
More transparency or answers from YouTube always seems to be in vain. They just don't seem to have that capability. They just refuse to be transparent and explain things. Trying to get answers out of YouTube is like trying to milk a brown cow for chocolate milk. It just doesn't work. They
facts.
just absolutely
They don't.
outright
Google,
despise
the whole Google.
communication, it feels like. And that sucks because,
Google owns
you know, that's
YouTube.
the Chemical X to the Powerpuff Girls formula here. If they could just explain things, their reputation would be doing a 180.
Agreed.
People would feel like
Wholeheartedly.
more comfortable and less fearful. There'd be less things up for speculation if they could just explain why they do some of the shit they
And just
do.
be real.
You
Like,
know, it just
we're
doesn't
losing
make
money
sense why
'cause
they're
you're being an
against
asshole.
it. Because
So
if
we're
someone
not
like
gonna pay you for
Markiplier,
this.
one of the biggest creators on the platform and an amazing person who has always been deeply ingrained in the YouTube atmosphere, as well as working hand in hand with YouTube for so long, if he can be abused by the platform,
He's not being abused. See, that's
what
the
hope
reason.
does everyone else have?
That's the reason they're pissed off. That's the reason they're petty, because it's like you're supposed to be a representation, a face of us, right? We work with you on a regular basis. You are supposed to be our face. And you're doing this petty shit that seems kind of treacherous. And you can literally call us and say, this thing isn't working correctly. I don't know what y'all are doing over there, but this isn't working right.
You know? Like, he, of all people, is getting slapped by them. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And after the try not to get age restricted challenge,
I
Mark
don't know. I'm on
posted
YouTube, sorry for this,
Jacksepticeye made one of his
but
own.
I do think they should,
And Jacksepticeye also made another video talking
be more
about the
vocal.
situation more in detail, but he followed Markiplier's trend of this age restriction thing. Once again, just shining light on this whole issue. Now, again, I don't know if this is ever going to lead to anything positive on YouTube's end. I'd like to think so, but I've completely lost faith that they'll actually ever be able to be transparent and explain shit. So for now, I can just appreciate
I
people
agree,
coming
they're
together
not
to
going to do
support
it.
someone so deserving like Corey
You
Kenshin.
can't get sued for saying
I
the
just
wrong
wanted to talk
thing if
about
you
this
don't say
briefly
anything.
because I think it's a great thing overall. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
Thanks, Penguins. That was a cool video. I didn't know that stuff was going on. Maybe you didn't either, but I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace out.